Goans can be Portuguese people as well? Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So I recently just finished with my final exam and it was time for a trip because it's been long since we went on a trip. So we decided to come to Goa. I know everyone is familiar with this place and this name, and whenever anyone thinks about Goa, it is the beach, the amazing coastline, the rich delicacies of this place. But Goa has so much more to itself other than the beaches and all the activities which goes on here. So initially I will be giving you an overview of Goa, which will be followed by with all the places I visited here and was able to manage to visit during my time in Goa. So now currently I'm in our resort and you can see that there are so many people here, and we started from Bangalore around 5 in the morning and were able to reach Goa at 3. Though the road after Hubli was not that great, it was a single lane road and it was difficult to drive, but we still managed to reach early and were able to spend our entire day here. And we have a beach right over there which is with direct access from our resort, so it's really fun when you can walk up to the beach and just notice and enjoy the beautiful view of the sea. So coming back to the overview of Goa, Goa is a state in India and most people refer to Goa as a place. That's because Goa is the smallest state in India in terms of area and the fourth smallest state in terms of population. However, there's this fact which can shock you. In spite of being the smallest in many of the categories given, Goa has the highest per capita income, which is above the average of India as a whole. And did you know that Goans can be Portuguese people as well? Even if they are not of Portuguese origin, Goans who were born before the year of 1961 are considered to be of Portuguese origin because Goa was initially a colony, is where the history of Goa begins. But the history of Goa dates back a long back to the BCs, where much before the Portuguese there were several other dynasties which ruled Goa, like the Kadamba dynasty, which is considered to be as the first golden age of Goa, where all the people lived peacefully, and this dynasty was one of the best here in Goa. And the government of Goa has also gone forward and taken this initiative to name the public transport, the bus transport system in Goa as the Kadamba bus transport system, paying a tribute to this great dynasty. But the Portuguese origins of Goa lasted much longer than the British origins of India. The Portuguese ruled Goa for more than 460 years and they gave a lot. But the territory of Goa was annexed by India much later. It was annexed only on the 19th of December 1961 by the Indian territory, and Goa was successfully made as a part of India. Till 1987, Goa and Daman and Diu were considered to be or were grouped together as a single union territory of India. However, Goa was later separated as the state and at that time became the 25th state of the Indian subcontinent and was considered to be the smallest state here in India. When India gained its freedom from the British in the year 1947, they had requested the Portuguese people or the Portuguese government here in Goa to annex and give Goa to India as a part of our country. However, the Portuguese refused to do so, because of which they sustained for few more years before being annexed by the Indian country in 1961 through Operation Vijay. And did you know that though Goa is famous for its beaches, about 1/3 of Goa is covered with forests, and the beautiful tropical rainforest, which is a unique and one of its kind in terms of the Western Ghats, is present here in Goa. Despite of the beaches, Goa has 7 major rivers ranging from Mandovi to Zuari, and one of the highest waterfalls in India, the Dudhsagar Falls, is located here in South Goa, which is a part of the Zuari River. So there you can see is the beach, and we're going to go there now. Come on. Did you know, being the first in many kinds, the first printing press of India was established here in Goa in the St. Paul's College. The first medical school of India was established here in the capital city of Goa, Panaji, and the first English medium school of India, which was established, is here in Goa. Right behind me over here is the Otorda beach, and it is a little sunny here, so I'll just move right there because I can't look in the camera. Goa is one of its kind in many various regions. But did you know that not only in India, but Goa has the only naval aviation museum in all of Asia? Goa is special for many of its regions, and its history is not just limited to certain dynasties few BCs ago, but ranges back to as far as the origins of the earth. Goa is considered to have one of the oldest rock carvings or paintings of the world. But because of the difficult nature, it is really difficult to carbonate or carbon date these rocks, because of which the exact time period in which these paintings or these carvings were made on these rocks is really difficult to know. So this is the basic overview of Goa, but there is so much more to Goa, which is something I cannot just tell, but we need to come here, feel and experience as well. And Goa, since there is Portuguese influence here in the culture, it has the perfect blend of Indian and Western culture. But here in Goa, you can also spot various beautifully styled Portuguese buildings, which people still reside in to these days, and some of which have been converted to heritage hotels. And now going to the places I visited, starting with my day one, my first full day here in Goa, where we explored at least some parts of South Goa. So this is Palolem beach, and it is the first place we are visiting here in Goa. So since we are staying in South Goa, this was pretty close to our resort, and we decided to come here. We were actually going to a different place, but then since this beach was close by, we came here, and it's a very beautiful beach, and it's relatively less crowded here and as compared to the Kolva beach. And there are a lot of people, and fishing activity is going on here, and there they are sorting the fishes out, different kinds of water sports. You can play water sports over here, and all in all, this is a very peaceful and serene beach. So then I visited this place of a very deep historical importance in South Goa itself, and this place is the Cabo de Rama Fort, and this Cabo de Rama Fort directly faces towards the Cabo de Rama beach. And here this part of the beach is known as the Pebble Beach because of the number of rocks which are present, and it's a very rocky beach. It's not like somewhere people mostly go there. And so this place has a very special significance in history, and it has things to deal with the Indian history as well as the Portuguese history. So this fort is almost completely in ruins now, but once upon a time this fort was used as a prison and as a military base and so many other things. So this fort was built none other than Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, and later on as time passed, it passed on from rulers to rulers, and the final rulers of these forts were the kings of Sunda. And after that the Portuguese came in and they offered protection against Hyder Ali of Mysore, who at that time was a reigning ruler and he was going around conquering places. So the rulers of this place ultimately gave up this fort to Portuguese, and then they started using this as a military base, and it is at a strategic location directly overlooking at the sea. And after that, when the Portuguese left, it was used as a central prison, but as time passed, it completely broke into ruins. So this is one of the very less known places here in South Goa, and this is the Kaborirama beach, and that was the pebble part of the beach, but this is amazing and is obviously the best beach I've ever been to. You can look at this view. There are like coconut trees and there are mountains and rocks and the sea. Everything is together. This is just perfect, and because this is one of the lesser known beaches, you can see that there's like almost, you could say, nobody here. It's very less crowded, and it's mostly because of the fact that this is located in the middle of nowhere. Like, you need to literally drive your car on a ground which is very rocky and reach to the parking side, and you have to go down, and the steps are also not that well, but it's not a very difficult walk at all. You can easily reach here, and please make it a point to certainly visit. And you can obviously get into the water here as well, and this is extremely beautiful because on the right side, it's not visible from here, but there is a river, there's a lagoon part over there, and many people go over there, and this is not crowded. There are no kind of commercial activities going on here. There's only one shack over there, and it's an amazing place. You must visit this beach. So this is another famous beach of South Goa, and it is located towards the most southern part of South Goa. So this is the Agonda beach, and this beach is mostly famous for all the commercial activities which goes on here, and different kinds of water sports, and also this through this beach you can go on various boat trips to the butterfly islands and for dolphin sightseeing. So most people come to this beach for this purpose, and it's a very beautiful beach for taking boat as well. The view is also very beautiful. There are like hills, and you can see that, and there are a number of restaurants and resorts which completely line the beach, and in fact it is very difficult to find an entrance to the beach because at least there's a long stretch of distance before you find the actual entrance to the beach, and most of the people who access this beach are the people who are living in these resorts. And another special thing about this beach is that this is an officially declared turtle nesting site. This is a nesting site of the olive ridley turtles, which is a protected species of turtles. And soon after this beach, there's also the Baga beach, which is also a very famous beach. Not many people go there, and there's no shacks or any kind of commercial activities happening there, and that is the more prominent turtle nesting site. So the nesting season is something that mostly the turtles come on shore to lay the eggs around February to March, and then after that it takes time by the time the turtle hatches, and usually during the months of November to December these newborn turtles return back to the sea. So this is the speciality, and apart from the beauty, natural beauty of this place, of course, is the turtle nesting site. So today is our second day in Goa, and today we decided to visit North Goa and Old Goa. So since we came to Old Goa, our main attraction here was the Basilica of Bom Jesus. Ever since I was in 4th standard, my teacher first told me about this church, and I was really fascinated. So what is so special about Basilica of Bom Jesus? So on the first of all, this is a church which is dedicated to infant Jesus, and this was established around at least 400 years ago, and it is an excellent epitome of the Portuguese style of architecture. As you can see, it's beautiful. Though the church is partially in ruins now, it is open to the public, even for the non-Christians to come and visit this church. And the main attraction of this church is the mortal remains of Saint Francis Xavier. So Saint Francis Xavier was a friend of Saint Ignatius Loyola, who was the founder of the Society of Jesus, which was a part of the Counter-Reformation movement, which was started against the Reformation movement in order to lay back the principles of Christianity and in order to restore the faith of people back in those times when there was this movement against this. So Saint Francis Xavier was given the mission of spreading Christianity in the eastern colonies of Portugal. He became very famous, and he also he was loved by all the Goan people here. And then this basilica contains his mortal remains, and the fascinating thing about this is that this body is still in a very good condition. It hasn't decomposed, and it is not chemically treated at all. So there aren't any kind of chemicals involved or anything, but the body is in a very good condition. And in fact, every 10 years they get this body down so that the public can take a view. And it is believed that Saint Francis Xavier has kinds of healing powers. So he is loved and revered by all, and his body is stored in a silver casket inside the church. It's a very beautiful church. The main altar has a big quite a big statue of Ignatius Loyola, and there are the letters IHS, which are the first 3 letters of Jesus in Greek, which are inscribed over there. And you can also of course see the silver casket, which was donated long back, and this church was officially the official records date back to 1605, and it is still in quite a good condition. And this is one of the very famous churches, and it has also been declared as one of the 7 wonders of the world which are of Portuguese origin. And since this church was built by the Portuguese people itself, this is considered to be one of the 7 wonders of the world of Portuguese origin, and this is here in India, in Goa. So this is one of the most famous beaches of North Goa. This is the Baga beach, and it is a large beach which is maintained and lots of people visit, and most of the people who come to Goa make it a point to visit this beach because this beach has very active night markets, and it has continuous rows of shacks and lot of things people can buy. And at the same time, there's the normal beauty of the beach. There are water sports which you can see. They are doing parasailing and jet skiing and all different kinds of water sports in this beach. And Baga beach is very famous for its nightlife, the music, the ambience, and all in all, it is mostly famous because of its nightlife, and people love visiting this beach as well. And there's also a scenery, and this beach is very maintained because when I came in here, I saw that this beach was under the process of cleaning, because since so many people visit this beach, it gets dirty very often and very frequent. So they were cleaning the beach, and there are dustbins, and there are well constructed toilets and everything here. And it's a place where most people visit in Goa, and it's a good beach to visit. One thing which is very famous in all of Goa are these beautiful buildings which are brightly colored and are in the Portuguese architectural style. You will find that in the capital city of Goa, Panaji as well, where almost all the streets are beautifully colored, and the buildings, all of them look so pretty close together. It's a perfect place for taking your pictures as well. It's a very beautiful experience to walk through these streets. It almost feels as though we're transformed into a whole new place. So if Baga beach wasn't the hotspot of Goa, if you wouldn't call it, then you would certainly call Kalangote beach as the hotspot of Goa. This beach is super organized and super crowded as well. And even though it's crowded, it doesn't feel hectic because you know there's a lot of open space and people are all around. It's a huge beach. It stretches for a large distance from there to there, and it's extremely safe to swim because here only as soon as we enter, they have done a display that it is swim safe because there is an entire lifeguard team. This beach is under police surveillance. They're always roaming around, and of course there are so many shacks and restaurants where people are coming and having fun. And in fact, Kalangote beach is also called as the Queen of Beaches in Goa.